All right, we've got quite a few books to get through in this digital and physical book haul. Hello everyone, welcome back to A Fictional Escapist. My name is Kris, and today's video is going to be an April/May book haul. I have acquired many digital, audio, and physical books over the last couple of months. I've just let myself go with the budget a little bit, some retail therapy, and I've been sent a bunch of ARCs, which is a lot of fun. So we will go through all of those today. Because there are quite a few, I'm not going to be reading out blurbs for any of these, but I will try and remember what drew me to them in some instances. And I do have a couple of arcs to talk about as well, as I mentioned. And then we've got a bunch of physical books. So we will start off with the digital media because there's quite a lot of that to get through. And I will put all of the covers up over on this side. So to start us off for the month of April, I picked up, well, this came out at the end of the month. It's at the top of the list though. There is no order, rhyme, or reason to this. We just consume books here. Anyway, I digress. To start us off with the month of April, we have Disgraced Return of Cap's Needles. This is by Renan Bernardo. And this cover definitely got me. So I read about this one in the releases, the April releases for indie releases, I believe. And it is a sci-fi horror with a cover that looks like this, which just drew me in, and the blurb was fantastic. So I'm very much looking forward to reading that at some point. I am feeling more sci-fi these days, so potentially it's one I will pick up sooner rather than later. Who knows? We're in the mood reading era, so when the rude mood strikes. No, that's wrong. When the mood strikes, I'll pick that one up. Following on from there, I have bought Black Stream. This is by Sarah K. Bolstrop, and this is the follow-up to The Way of Unity. Looks like this. Another beautiful cover. I may need to reread The Way of Unity before I jump into this one. What I loved about The Way of Unity is it doesn't shy away from conversations of faith from both sides, so both positive and negative, and exploring that dynamic. So I'm looking forward to more of that. Sarah K. Bolstrop is definitely an inspiration in terms of thematic reads, and I need to be in a headspace to sit with that work because I very much enjoyed The Way of Unity, but I remember needing to sit with that work and being able to think about it while I was reading it. Following on from there, there was an indie sale that was going on, I believe, in April, and I picked up Bright Work. This is by S.A. Tholen, and is within the same universe, I want to say, as the Primateri, which is the series that I have started. So I don't quite know where this fits in. I do have I won a giveaway for a like a proof copy for something else in this universe. So I have that, and then this after I finish the 4 books in the main series. So I believe these are connected somehow, but they are shorter novels rather than the big chonkers that we have. So I have that as well. I then bought The Crimson Fire by Abel Montero. I have read this one. I have enjoyed it. It's been in a recent wrap-up, which you can go and have a look at if you so choose. This is epic fantasy, and this has been translated from his Italian works, and it's just beautiful, and looking forward to more from this particular author. I then picked up 2 on my wife's recommendation, as she worked with this author and said that she thinks I would really enjoy the books. And this is Whispers of the Storm by Z.B. Steele, or Z.B. Steele if you're in Australia. And also there is a novella called An Inkling of Flame. So these were on that indie sale as well. So I picked those up because Rachel said that she thinks I would really, really enjoy them. I then picked up Remnants of the Dawn. This is by Elliot Brooks, and this is the follow-up to Peace and Turmoil. It looks like this. There's a lot happening in this cover. That Phoenix fire situation and like the tree. I'm very intrigued. I probably do need to reread the first book before jumping into Remnants of Dawn, but I remember really loving the first book and thinking it was a super underrated indie gem. So looking forward to getting to that once I am caught back up to date with book 1. One of the arcs that I've received is the Tome of Hurrances by Damien Francis. I've just talked about this one a little bit on my most recent wrap-up. This is an epic fantasy in every sense of the word. It is like an 800 to 1,000 page chonker, and we are following a number of POVs as Ador discovers whether he can or cannot be the next keeper for this particular world, and it's a bit of fun. So I've read that one. I'm looking forward to more in that world, and this may even be one that I do revisit at some point, because I think with these really big books, there is more to be gained if you do ever get to go back and reread it. Another arc I've been sent very kindly by Tori Tekken is Cold Silver for Souls. We have a, I want to say, Weird West necromancer fantasy situation. It looks absolutely gorgeous, and I'm looking forward to reading it. Tori's book, The Bloodstones, really hit hard for me in 2024. It was my favorite book of the year, so I'm looking forward to getting to this one and expecting some very good things. And I also want to read Phased at some point, which is the YA book that she's got out, but I didn't buy that one in this particular haul. We then have A Graveyard for Heroes by Michael Michel. This is another chonker. This is Dust and Steel, Dreams of Dust and Steel, book number 2, and it is a follow-up to Price of Power, which I don't know that I've shut up about since reading it a couple of years back. Absolutely loved it. Price of Power just had a re-release with a new prologue and some tidying up, and Graveyard for Heroes is the follow-on to that. So I don't know whether I'll reread A Price of Power. At this point, I've read it twice. So we'll see. If there's a recap in A Graveyard for Heroes, then I'm probably all good to go for that one. Very much looking forward to continuing on with Thephos's story, because he was definitely my favorite in the first book there. I have another arc that was very kindly sent to me by Chance Dillon. This is Mercy, Tears of the Fallen. And this is, if you like your complex epic fantasy, you're probably going to enjoy this one. I read it at alpha stages, so I would assume it's changed a little bit since I've had the pleasure of going through that alpha read. So I will be rereading this at some point. I also, just mentioned Price of Power. I did a beta for that one, and it had some very significant changes from beta to the copy that got released. So I expect similar things here. So I'm looking forward to reading this as like a new reader with new eyes at some point. I then was very kindly sent Showing Silver by Evelyn Linwood, and beautiful cover. These blues and like the sparkles, absolutely stunning. I don't remember what this one is about, but I read the blurb and I was like, yes, please. That was sent to me, so I'm hoping to get to that one at some time soon. I also was very kindly sent City of Jackals. This is by Aman J. Betty, and this I really enjoyed Kavithri, which was book 1, and he was kind enough to send me book 2 as well. So I really like Kavithri as a underdog character. I think she had tremendous amount of growth in that first book, and I'm looking forward to see where that quite explosive ending from book 1 carries on in the second installment. So another cool cover, which I'll put up here. I pre-ordered Heart of the Weirdwood from the Broken Binding. That's not here yet. I might do another book haul at some point, or just show it off whenever it arrives. This is book 3 in R.J. Barker's latest series, and it is the only series of his that I haven't read. I've enjoyed the Bone Ships, and also I can't remember what the other series was called, but I've enjoyed both R.J. Barker's works before, so I wanted to wait until all 3 were out so I could just read one each month and then have that under my TBR cap as well. I was then sent Rise of the West by Gregory Contaxis, so thank you, Gregory, for sending this one through. This is the next installment of his series. Looks like this, very cool cover. I've enjoyed my time with this one. If you enjoy classic fantasy, and which is quite easy to follow and then sort of gets progressively more complex, then you'll have a good time with this series. Looking forward to jumping into this one as well. And I was also sent a horror called Scurry by Sean Barber, and this is like serial killers and cockroaches. I'm very intrigued to get to this one. So those were April's digital acquisitions. So we'll move on to May. I bought Beyond the Mistline, which I believe was in the indie release. I really love the cover. I didn't really look at anything else, but there was a big lizard on the cover. I read the blurb when I did the video, and I bought it immediately afterwards. So I also have that one. I picked up Level Ascension on Libro FM. This is David Douglas's second installment into his lit RPG series. I've since finished Level Ascension. Very fun series. If you're looking for something just to slip in between bigger reads, this series is fun. It's a fantasy romp. It's not like super memorable in terms of like the characters in that probably won't stick in your mind forever, but it's fun. Like it's fun. Had a good time with it. Very glad that I read it. I'll continue on with the series when the next one comes out later this year. I've pre-ordered When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy, which will probably be my first Nat Cassidy. That's an audiobook as well. That's coming at some point this month or next month, I want to say. I was also gifted an arc of A.S. Colesworth's Dreams of the Fallen. Cool. cover here. I've just seen the amount of detail in that cover, which you'll be seeing up here, with the army inside the hand. That's very cool, and I will get to this one at some point. I've also picked up Darkblade by Andy Peliquin. So there was massive showcase. The book 10 came out, which I believe is called Revenant. Do not quote me on that, unsure, but I got picked up books 6, 7, 8, and 9 for free. So he basically put up the entire series up until the most recent release for free. I already had books 1 to 5 on my Kindle, and I picked up 6 to 9. This is a series I would like to get physically because they're beautiful, and they're done in a similar style to the what are they called? Forgotten Realms by R.A. Salvatore, like in terms of the layout of the covers, and I quite enjoy it. But these are chunky books and expensive books, so one day I will probably should read some of them to make sure I like the series before I go ahead and fork out that much money to get them physically. And the last digital read I picked up was on I want to say BookBub sale for like $2. This is Mine by Robert McCammon, and I started Swan Song by Robert McCammon. I liked the writing, it just wasn't doing it for me at the time. I will return to it at some point. So I picked up this one because it was a couple of dollars, and the audiobook was included with it. So that is all the digital media that I've picked up, and I've got a handful of physical books to go through as well. The first physical books that I would like to showcase are big thank yous to the authors who have sent these to me, which is just fantastic, very much appreciated. The first one is by Ricky Smith. I've read this book, so this is A Line Unsundered. It's an advanced reader copy, so your title's not on here, but this is just stunning, just beautiful. I love purple covers so much, and the pop with the white just is amazing. This ring light, this camera, not going to do it justice, but love it, obsessed with it. I've read this book 3 times now in various stages. I read it when I started out reviewing. I thought that it needed a bit more oomph. Personally, that was part of my critique in my review, and Ricky has done it. This is now a 5-star read for me. This is fantastic. I can't wait to read more of Ricky and his world, but I had a very good time with that. The next author I want to shout out as a big thank you is JCM Byrne, who has sent me the first 3 the first 3 books in the Hybrid Helix series in hardback. Look at that. That is beautiful. So we have Wistful Ascending, we got the big shark one, Return of the Griffin here, and we also have Blood Reunion. So I'm a happy chappy. I'm hoping to read Blood Reunion pretty soon because I had a really good time with Return of the Griffin. Next up, my father-in-law was here, and he bought me a couple of books that he didn't know that he was going to return to, or he was just going to donate them, and said if I wanted them, then I could read them. So naturally, I was like, yes, please give me more books that I haven't read, because we're book collectors here. So I have a copy of The Sunlit Man by Brandon Sanderson. You'll know at this point, Brandon Sanderson is not my favorite author, but I also appreciate the way that he writes. So I have this one. We'll give it a go. We'll see what this is all about at some point. I probably won't read it very quickly. I'll be reading, I want to say Miss One Era 2 next, maybe Elantris or Warbreaker. Unsure, but I have it. And this is a book that I've been looking for in this size in particular for a very long time, and I've just not been able to find it. So I now have a copy of The City of Last Chances by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Out of all of the Adrian Tchaikovsky books that are out at the moment, this series intrigues me the most. I don't know why. Is it the cover? Is it the political intrigue? Unsure. But I've been looking for this particular size of this book, and he happened to have a coffee. He happened to have a copy and asked if I wanted it. And I was like, yes, please. I would enjoy that very much. And then if I like this one, I'll get the rest of the series when it's in the same size. All right, which takes me to all the things that I've picked up personally in the months of April and May. Speaking of Tchaikovsky, I've also been looking for this book in this size to start off this series, which is Children of Time. This is the first book in the series. Now, I hear that this book is phenomenal, and then you can give or take the other books if you want to. I will probably just read the series. I am craving sci-fi right now, and this is a series that I've wanted to read for a very long time. So I picked it up. It was in the right size. It ticked all the boxes of that particular moment when I was in that bookstore. Speaking of sci-fi, I picked up The Deep Sky by Yumi Kitase. I'm so sorry. This is one that's been on my radar for a very long time. So this is a murder mystery in space. The second book has just come out, and yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that one. It's beautiful as well. I then picked up something just for me to read in between things. This is a non-fiction. People who have been around for a long time realize that I have gotten quite into sharks and recently. So this is just a non-fiction book about sharks. It's from ancient megalodons to fearsome great whites. It's a complete untold story of how sharks emerged as Earth's ultimate survivors by a paleontologist, which is this guy here, John Long. So I've looked at this one a couple of times in bookstores, and the rule of three, if I pick it up 3 times, I'm just going to buy it at that point because it's obviously drawing my attention. This is not one that I'm going to be reading like consistently because it's textbook-y, but I believe it's told in a way which is enjoyable just to read. So I will just be picking this up whenever. There's like scientific little graphs in here about how some of the extinctions have happened, and they've survived from prehistoric eras. So I'm just interested in it. So I'll read that in between all the other things that I'm reading. From that same bookstore, I picked up a couple of Japanese literary fiction / horrors. The first one is Sayaka Murata's Vanishing World. They're shiny. It's nice. I read Earthlings. I really enjoyed it. I've not read Convenience Store Woman, which is the other one that people most associate with this particular author. But I saw this. I was quite intrigued by the cover and the premise on the not on the back because it's just an endorsement, but on the inside. What I love about Japanese fiction in particular is it takes mundane topics and really just delves into them and explores some of the more taboo things within that particular topic. So I really enjoyed Earthlings. It was a weird horror. I'm hoping for more of that. We'll see what happens there. And likewise, I picked up Strange Pictures by Yuketsu. It says a chilling Japanese mystery sensation. It looks fun. Whoa. Okay, we don't have time to do that forever. And then I have picked up just a couple of other things here. I picked up A Cavern of Black Ice by J.B. Jones. The reason being is I recently acquired book 2, but I thought it was book 1. It was not book 1. Now I have book 1, so I picked that one up. I picked up Horus Rising by Dan Abnett. This is in their Warhammer 40k universe. I want to read these books. I'm intrigued by the books. I'm intrigued by the world. I don't want to play the tabletop game. I thought about dabbling in like the video games of it, but I have 2 omnibus collections, which I'll probably read first. I don't really know where this one comes in, but I have heard the name of this book a lot, and it was cheap, so I picked it up. And then I've decided that I'm not finishing my Malazan Book of the Fallen Journey. I am going to continue on with the novels of the Malazan Empire, so I picked up the first one to hopefully read this year. This is in I believe there's 6 of these novels, which is the next series, and this is Knight of Knives, so this is the first book. So I'll continue on with that series at some point. The next 2 were cover buys. Sorry, I'm not going to lie. This is The Expanded Earth by Mickey Please. Look at that. Sorry? And it was in a specialist store. So the store that I got this from does sci-fi fantasy. It's a specialist. So I trust that it will be sci-fi or fantasy. But I picked this up. It is just gorgeous. Like one of the cover, the price, don't look. It's $40, whatever. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. No idea what it's about. It looks like it's environment horror, sci-fi. I'm into it. And then the next one I got was S. Hedy and the Skyblade, a novel. I'm guessing it's called And the Skyblade by S. Hedy. This is in the horror section of that same store. This one read more fantasy. I do, like, I'm not a monster. Like, I do read the back of these books when I pick them up. I just can't remember what the back of the book said. Amid the chaos of a dying city ruled by colonizers, 3 rivals, a thief, a slumlord, and an heiress, race to find a hidden cache of magic that will decide the city's fate. Sounds cool. Cover was cool. Picked it up. And the last one that I picked up is by far the biggest book that I picked up, and I am very intimidated by this author, but it is one that I would like to read sooner rather than later. Not with this particular book. I have another series in mind to start with. I picked up Exodus by Peter F. Hamilton. This is, so the author is writing for a video game. I believe there is another book in the works for this particular series. I don't know if it's a duology or if it's a wider series, but this is so chunky. It is heavy too, but potentially my friend Ryan and I will be reading this for Sci-Fi September, and whenever the second book comes out, it's a beast. This is a beast of a book, but I'm hearing good things about it, so we'll see what happens there. Those are the books that I've picked up digitally and physically throughout the months of April and May. Is there anything in here you think I should prioritize? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like the content, give one of those. If you want to see more of it, click subscribe at your will, and I will catch you in the next video.